Hey, well, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brett. In my hands is Youngblood Deluxe #1. It's interesting. I fascinated to go back and check this out. So it's created in story with art by Rob Liefeld. Joe Casey is the script. Matt Yackey is the colorist. Rus Wooton is the letter. So the deluxe, from my understanding, is kind of an updated version of Youngblood. It's gone through some revisions over the years, and there's going to be, I guess, regularly ongoing. It seems like the second issue should be out this week, from what I see. I remember reading Youngblood back when it came out in '92. And back then thinking, like, really cool art. The story is generally nonsensical. I thought the same thing about Wildcats. As a whole, I think really early Image was really cool art and rough storytelling. Great concepts, but, like, the actual narrative was it had some troubles. There were some exceptions. Savage Dragon was an exception. Spawn was an exception. But a lot of the other stuff was much more flash than actual substance. So it was interesting kind of going back and rereading this. It feels like, I guess, redone script. I haven't compared it to the original. But, it's still like, it's a good concept. Let's go with that. The art is interesting at times. I forgot, like, how actual rough some of the art is. Not rough in, like, a rough style, but just, like, angles are weird, proportions are weird, and not the usual style of proportions. There's just, like, there's some things that just make no sense. I mean, guns that look like they're paper thin, and just, angles are off with things, and perspectives really than proportions. Perspectives is probably would be the better term. And then just the dialogue of it is so cheesy at times. So the rough of it is going back and reading this. I mean, this came out in '92. There's so many references to, like, the Gulf War, which wrapped up in '91. It's clearly a riff on the Gulf War in a lot of ways. They go up against a guy, his last name like Hussein, in, I think, Iraq, and are sent in there to retrieve some person. We don't know who it is at the time, but it's going to be a superhuman arms race, and Hussein wouldn't give it up, and very much weapons of mass destruction crap that we heard later on. But it plays off of the Gulf War, with superheroes being the coalition that went in, and then you've got this, like, other team of Youngblood who's dealing with some local supervillains, and there was, like, assassination attempt that for some reason just, like, it begins and, like, isn't even, like, touched upon. The member of the Youngblood kills someone, it seems like at a mall, and then just walks away because press is there, and it's bizarre. It's so freaking bizarre. It's one where, like, I'll say this a lot about Rob Liefeld's work. Like, I think he's great with concepts. He comes up with some amazing concepts and general ideas. The execution is, like, often very, very rough. Like, he's the person I want in the idea room, but I don't necessarily want him going into the gritty details, like writing the actual story and coming up with the plot, if that makes sense. I think, like, there's others who are like that too. This isn't just a thing with him. And that's what Youngblood #1 comes off to me a lot like. Like, it's just a lot of really cool concepts and really neat ideas. Just the execution is just weird at times. It's clearly a love to what came before. I mean, there's a character who's clearly supposed to be Jack Kirby. Here's things with, like, the perspective and just odd art, like eyes are missing. The head for Shaft just kind of feels like it keeps on, like, shifting in the way it is. You got all that, and then you get, like, weird looks like this, which doesn't quite feel like it totally vibes with other looks, and you got, like, a head like this that doesn't quite feel like it matches this. It's weird like that. Excuse me. Excuse me. And then you got, like, Chapel's gun, and the clips don't feel like they really match up to the way the shape of the gun is, or the angle of the gun. There's all sorts of just oddities like that. Like, I don't know. But then you get like really cool pages like this where you just want to like stare at the art, and you can see where it's just having fun. I mean, the 90s were a very different time for comics. Let's go with that. So it's interesting to go back and see and reread it with, 2025 mentality. But yeah, like it's an interesting piece of history. Let's go with that. Even with the updates, even with whatever was changed, it's still stuck in the 90s. So yeah, I'm kind of fascinated to see what the series is going to be like as it goes on and as each issue comes out, and just re-experiencing that. So yeah, it'll be intriguing. You can go get this. This is out in shops. We got a link beneath our video. Put in your zip code. It'll tell you if a shop's near you. No shop, no problem. We have some links where you can purchase your own. There'll be affiliate links, so we do get a small percentage. By doing that, you help support our site, as always, so thanks for that. If you are into comics, check us out every day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Facebook, TikTok, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Till next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.